teachers and students, invited guests, staff of the ministry, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, and I'm Bulavinaka to you all. I'm very grateful to officiate at this auspicious occasion of the World Day Against Child Labor, which falls on June 12th of every year. What makes it particularly delightful for me is that a forum like this is happening on this very special day, because part of my mandate as a Minister for Women, Children, and Poverty Alleviation. Child labor, of course, is one of the pinnacles of the mandate that fall under my ministry, particularly in relation to issues pertaining to you children and how you live your life. Child labor takes away the rights of our children and punishes them with work which is supposed to be done by adults, as a child's rightful place is in school. This is linked indelibly to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, Article 31.1, which states, and I quote, States parties recognize the rights of the child to be protected from economic exploitation and from performing any work that is likely to be hazardous or to interfere with the child's education or to be harmful to the child's health or physical, mental, spiritual, moral, or social development. We need to ensure, as parents and guardians, that we ourselves do not harm our children's future by putting them in employment instead of education, by asking them to earn a wage while we take a rest, nor by abusing them instead of nurturing them. The best thing we can do for our children is allow them to be children and to keep them in education while we as a nation work hard to combat poverty and reduce the income gap. This year's theme is, and I quote, "In conflicts and disasters, protect children from child labor." This theme is indeed fitting as it provides an insight into what we as a nation are grappling with in terms of climate change and its effect on children, the effect of natural disaster on our infrastructure, threat to our food security, and its impact on our schools, affecting our children, some of whom are studying in tents and makeshift classrooms. Our government, through the profound leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, is ensuring that we provide the best possible care and protection to all our children, and ensure that we provide the much needed assistance so that no child is forced into child labor due to displacement caused by natural disasters and the resultant effects. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear children, this year is a very significant one for Fiji, as under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Fiji, a small island developing state, will be presiding over the Conference of the Parties, or COP23, to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change in November, with the support of the government of Germany. This is very important to the world, including us as a small island developing state, to ensure that we save our environment for our future generations. The Child Labor Unit within the ministry was set up in June 2011 under the EU-ILO TACO project to eradicate child labor and establish a labor inspection process to tackle child labor and encourage children back into schools. The unit, as part of its training program, has trained over 250 school teachers and over 200 community leaders and farmers in the area of child labor since 2011 to date. I'm indeed proud to announce that under the Joint Partnership Program of ILO TACO, we have been able to withdraw 193 children from the child labor environment and have returned them to schools, with some being admitted into technical training programs. In doing so, I would like to recognize the support from the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Women and Children, the Fiji Police Force, the International Labour Organization, and the NGO sector in making this happen. The unit has also worked with our partners in signing an interagency guideline in December 2015 to ensure that we have a collective approach towards eradicating child labor from our society. Our government is committed to achieving its set target in Sustainable Development Goal 8.7 to accelerate the eradication of child labor to secure its end by 2025 and forced labor, modern slavery, and human trafficking by 2030. This will require a collaborative commitment from all stakeholders and civil society organizations to ensure that we achieve our targets and give our children the best environment to grow and develop. The Fijian government's commitment to providing free education to our children and setting up technical colleges around the country has greatly benefited all Fijians, especially our children. This is reinforced in the Constitution, which outlines the rights of children and gives each child the right to education. Fijian government's commitment towards the elimination of child labor is also fully enunciated in the law, which defines the issues of the worst forms of child labor, minimum age of employment, the rights of the child, conditions on restricting the employment of children, hours and types of work that a child can perform if he or she is above the age of 15, and the minimum employment age in Fiji. The law has embedded within it the ILO conventions ratified by Fiji on Minimum Age Convention and Worst Forms of Child Labor Convention. Furthermore, a comprehensive list of hazardous work came into effect on 28 May 2013 and has been published in the law and prohibits occupations or workplaces which by their nature or circumstances is likely to harm the health, safety, or morals of children. Those who violate this law must expect to face the full brunt of it. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear children, with those words, I now have much pleasure in declaring the World Day Against Child Labor Awareness Program officially open. Vinaka.
Away from our employment market. In the program, you will know the director, Mr.